Welcome to 805 Focus. I'm Dr. Cinder Sinclair with Nonprofit Connect, and we will be bringing you the latest on your favorite nonprofits. So get ready to be inspired. Our special guest today is Beth Skidmore, and Beth is the board chair, executive lead, and the founder of Rooted Santa Barbara County. Welcome, Beth.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Gosh. You have a big story to tell. You have been a very busy person with Rooted and all that. I love reading about and hearing about all the work you're doing. So let's just jump right in and tell me all about Rooted.
Great. I'd love to. So Rooted Santa Barbara County, we're a newer nonprofit in our community. Our mission is to mobilize Santa Barbara County to grow health equity and resilience through whole food, plant-based nutrition, education, and support.
Wow, that's great. Here, let's say that again.
Yes. We're Rooted Santa Barbara, we're mobilizing Santa Barbara County to grow health equity and resilience through whole food, plant-based nutrition, education, and support. But more simply put, we're here to help our community eat more plants. So that's how we shorten it. Yeah.
That's a good thing to say.
Yeah. So we've, again, we're fairly new. We've been growing over the past 5 years. Our vision is to be a collaborative hub between our healthcare and our food sectors, so that we can bring plant-based nutrition as an opportunity to our community together. So a lot of the work that we do is nutrition and food skills programs, but we also do healthcare training and systems change type partnerships because we want to help make the healthiest choices in our community the easiest, preferred, most accessible, and common choices. So we know that linking arms as a community, we can be much more impactful doing this together. And to simply provide nutrition education isn't enough. If we go home to our families or to our local food access points, or to our healthcare community, and we don't have the resources and support to implement, new behavior changes and knowledge that we've gained, it makes it really challenging. So while we're a nutrition education organization, we really focus much broader and see that partnerships is an important part of the work that we do to create change in the health of our community together.
Wow. And so you bring together healthcare and nutrition, or like food banks and different food sources, because you really see plant-based foods as the sort of the avenue to lowering risk for all different kinds of diseases.
Yes, absolutely. So if you actually look at the leading causes of death in our county, many of them are considered lifestyle associated. And so while there can be genetic components, our lifestyle is really important to potentially the progression of many of those conditions. And so our organization is really interested in the nutrition science and what it shows us when it comes to the foods we eat and our long-term health, and feel that building programs that make both the nutrition science and the ways to put it into action in your kitchen and in your homes really accessible is critical. So actually for the first few years that we've been growing, we've been incubating as a young organization because we want to fill gaps. We haven't wanted to, kind of just build programs that people come to. We wanted to see what's happening in the community and how can we support it and make help support a stronger healthcare community and a stronger food community by creating more opportunities to access plant-based foods. So we've worked with community organizations like the Sansom Diabetes Research Institute, Breast Cancer Resource Center, the Food Bank of Santa Barbara County, Santa Barbara Neighborhood Clinics. We're building meaningful partnerships up in Lompoc with the Lompoc Valley Community Health Organization and Savvy Health and Route 1 Farmers Market, and more. So we're small, but as we grow, we really see an opportunity for change together.
That is great. So you are quite the collaborator.
We are, and we're a collaborative team. So while I'm here, we have a really strong community of volunteers and educators who are part of our team that have really made this possible. The idea may have, for the organization, may have sprouted like with me and my experience with my family, but it came to life with our board that has come together and our community that has grown over the years. And it's a really special organization to be a part of and to be fostering this new topic in our community together.
Yeah, and I saw on your website you talk about investing in the community through this avenue.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Well, again, as I mentioned, we're a young organization, and we see that there's lots of room to grow, and we're investing in the community with the work that we're doing, and we're hopeful that the community, can help invest in the work that we're doing to help us grow. We are primarily powered by volunteers. We're actually a fiscally sponsored organization of the Santa Barbara Foundation.
That's great.
And so, as a fiscally sponsored organization, it's giving us this gift to incubate, under their umbrella as a nonprofit, and so we've been taking that opportunity, and now we're working to get to the next level of our organization and hire staff and grow our team countywide.
Yeah, and so the healthcare professionals must really see a real link between the plant-based nutrition and the work that you're doing and benefits to healthcare.
Yeah, we're getting a really wonderful response from our healthcare community.
That's
it's
great.
Really exciting. So we actually, part of our lead focus right now is on healthcare training and resources. Plant-based nutrition is actually a leading pillar of a rising practice in medicine called lifestyle medicine. And we partner with a national organization called the American College of Lifestyle Medicine, and they're the leading medical society of the practice of integrating lifestyle interventions into medical practice. And so they have 6 pillars that they've identified that are really important to our health and to both lowering the risk for and addressing chronic diseases. And one of the leads is plant-predominant eating patterns, physical activity, stress management, restorative sleep, avoiding risky substances, and positive social connections. So we've started partnering with local organizations to provide training opportunities to healthcare teams. We're creating our own education programs right now that we'll be launching in the new year. And we also have an area on our website. If you go to our main page and click on healthcare providers, we have a free CME opportunity for every healthcare provider in our county to access from the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. So you can log on there, sign up, get 5.5 hours of CMEs, learning about lifestyle medicine and food as medicine, and then access a range of other resources. And we're just building that out, so there'll be more to come.
I love how you're so planful and so research-based and coming at this in such a methodical way. That is great. And at this point, you have no employees.
Right.
It's all volunteers, although you see in the future, don't you, having some employees at some point?
Yes, actually, we're hopeful next year that we can launch a small staff team to help us grow. So being fiscally sponsored, we're not able to hire staff. But we have received some generous funding that's helping us to get projects done. So we combine our volunteer power with funds that we have to hire contractors and educators to help us move certain programs forward. So we do have a dedicated team that's helping us grow. But we've been working on our business model this year, actually with the Women's Economic Ventures, and we'll be launching that in the new year. We're putting the finishing touches on that now, and we're really excited about the future. We need the investment to establish a staff team that can help us grow and build connections and bring resources, to both our healthcare community and our community members throughout the county.
That is so great. And so I love it that your Santa Barbara Foundation is your fiscal sponsor. And so because of that, then you can accept tax-deductible donations, probably on your website, right?
Yes, absolutely. You can go to our main page. We have a donate button as well as a place that says help us grow. And if you click on that, you'll get more information about supporting our organization and linking out to make a direct donation as well.
Great. And so, and maybe how to be a volunteer?
Yep, how to be a volunteer, how to share your story. We've been sharing stories of community members and their experience with plant-based eating and plant-forward eating, and how they've had health transformations or just different. It's interesting. Everyone that's involved in our organization has their own story, whether it's personal or professional, about plant-based eating, and so we've been really excited to help share those. So there's a place to also share your story.
That's one. Oh, so give me an example.
Okay. Well, I can share my family story.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah. We also this was sort of the impetus for getting Rooted started. But my husband is type 1 diabetic, and he got it as an adult, and we were always just trying to kind of figure it out better throughout kind of throughout our time, like getting to know like our new way of life with this like condition. It's a really challenging condition. And anyways, he had a family friend who planted a seed with him about plant-based nutrition. He had learned about it from his doctor, who was talking with him about heart disease and type 2 diabetes. And so he'd done some reading that included type 1 diabetes. So he read about it. He became really inspired. I was inspired by how inspired he was. And so we gave it a go. And after a few months, we paused and looked at each other and realized that this is something we're going to do forever. Like it changed his life. His blood sugar control got better. His insulin needs went down. He felt better. We realized that if I wasn't doing it with him, it made it harder for him to stick with it. And at moments that he didn't stick with it, it took him a while to get back on track. And it just, for us, it just really didn't seem worth it to do anything else. So I was a new mom at the time, and we just started our family. So I was particularly passionate about really understanding, like, why was this working so well for us? What does this mean, to our whole family? And I fell in love. It became sort of an opportunity and a choice for us. Whereas I think, a few years before, if someone had suggested plant-based eating, I don't know. For a lot of people, it sounds restrictive. It sounds, there's a lot of misconceptions around it. But it's been really meaningful that this is a choice that we make, and we can see now through research and all that we've learned that this is an opportunity for our family. And so not being able to find many resources locally was really challenging. And that's really, and I actually in the early years of us kind of learning about this, we started reaching out for resources and to share his story. We felt like there's something to it. And it was a really hard conversation to start. And so I went back to school and got a master's degree in clinical nutrition. And then as I graduated, I started to meet people in the healthcare community who are also really interested and excited about plant-based nutrition. And so we really built this together. You called me a founder, which is very sweet, but the idea maybe sprouted, but it came to life when more community members came to the table to make it happen.
That is so great. So at that time then, how was your eating different than it is now?
Oh gosh, actually thinking back. So that was actually 12 years ago when we started, so it's been some time. I don't know, I'd have to really think back now. It was a long time ago. I'd say it was pretty normal, with kind of standard, I don't know. We ate chicken and beef and fish and dairy. Actually, I remember, actually during one of my pregnancies, knowing I needed to eat more vegetables, but like, okay, well, I can do it if there's cheese on it, And so, I know dairy and cheese was a hurdle for me to think about moving on from, but it actually was fairly easy once we actually did it. And there's so many fun options now to replace dairy with. So that's been a fun world to explore. But I would say, I don't know that we ate, I don't know. I don't really actually know how to define it because it was so long ago. But we definitely ate, what is more kind of common, in America, which was, a diet that had a lot more dairy and meat and processed foods than we do now. We mostly, whole plant-based foods are minimally processed, and keeping more processed foods, lower.
Gosh, and so I think I noticed on your website that you've got some really great recipes.
We do have some great recipes, and those are largely from community members who've been contributing those. So there's some fun ways to get started with plant-based eating on our website. We also have an online learning library that we're just launching, so last year we had a class every month that community members could access, and they were all on different topics in nutrition and food skills. And then we also had a monthly class for 10 months of last year with the Breast Cancer Resource Center. So you can access recipes on our website, but you can also access our online learning library that has many of our classes from last year, all of our Breast Cancer Resource Center classes, as well as some introductory videos and 2 cycles of Eat to Thrive, Eat More Plants jumpstarts that we did with our Food Bank of Santa Barbara County. So there's actually a wealth of resources that are there, and we'll just continue to grow it over the coming year.
Let's say somebody's listening to this and they're thinking, gosh, that sounds good. I like the idea of, reducing my risk for various illnesses and all. But, oh man, how would I give up protein? Don't we need protein? What about protein? So tell us what you would say to somebody who is a little nervous about that.
Yeah, so good news, you're not giving up protein.
Oh.
So that's good, right? So I know oftentimes we talk about protein and carbohydrates as like food groups, but they're actually macronutrients, so they're elements of food. So plant-based foods, especially when you eat a variety of plant-based foods, eating enough calories, you'll get enough protein. It's not really something that you actually have to think about. And actually, one of the most important foods that is related to longevity is a protein-rich plant-based food, which are beans. So actually, there's a wealth of research that's growing around the way that beans benefit our health. And one really interesting research study is the blue zones. Are you familiar with the blue zones?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a new documentary out on Netflix right now that talks about the blue zones. And they basically went and researched 5 communities around the world that had the longest lived, happy, healthy people who lived 100 and above. And they found all of these common lifestyle factors. And the one lifestyle factor that was consistent through all of them was the inclusion of beans in their lifestyles, and that being like a predominant source of food for them. And so beans are actually, they're wonderful, they're culturally diverse. There's so many traditional cultures that beans are an important part. And so anyways, you can get, there's protein in plant-based foods, and there's also protein-rich foods like beans and tofu and tempeh that you can really actually grow to love. That sometimes sound like, a vegetarian food, you don't touch it, but it actually, they're really wonderful staple foods to include in your diet, and they soak up flavors just like meat would,
Okay, so let's say you're gonna have some people over to your house for, I don't know, hors d'oeuvres or for dinner or something like that, and I would normally serve like cheese and crackers, in the beginning as a little snacky thing. What would you put out instead?
Well, let's see. Fruit, veggies, hummus, dip. Actually, there's great plant-based cheeses now also. And so those can be really fun to share and enjoy with friends and try new.
Really?
Yeah, many of the local markets have them. Most at least have a couple of options. Some have more than others. But there's some
plant-based cheese.
Oh yeah, there's some really great plant-based cheeses. Yeah. But hummus is one that we've actually, when you're looking for hors d'oeuvres, like hummus and veggies, and there's lots of different ways to actually make hummus. You can make dessert hummus or savory hummus.
Yeah.
So you can use it with fruits, depending on how you make it. But yeah, I think putting out whole foods. There's more and more. And actually, right now, when we first went plant-based, I was like scouring the internet and signing up for every blog that I could find to get recipe ideas. But now you could literally think of almost anything that you would enjoy now and look it up, as like plant-based, and there's awesome and generally fairly simple alternatives.
Wow.
Sometimes there's, they can be complex, but they're getting simpler and simpler. So there's some really great resources out there. You can basically make what you've always enjoyed, but just make it with different ingredients, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, that's a comforting thought.
Yes, yeah.
Good, because I'm very intrigued. Okay, so we have a little over a minute left. Beth, is there anything else you'd like our audience to know about Rooted, Santa Barbara County?
Yeah, so we're excited to be a part of the community. We're here to make this topic accessible. We want to help our community prioritize fiber-rich foods. Again, you mentioned protein. Fiber is actually an element of food that we are largely deficient in. And so looking at the beautiful array of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts and seeds that are out there, and trying a plant-based dish, checking out our website, checking out our resources. If you're a healthcare provider, please visit our website or connect, because we really want to help provide resources to support you and your patients. And we look forward to staying connected and growing together.
Great. Well, thank you for that. And thanks for your great work and building this wonderful organization that's going to already is benefiting a lot of people. And I'm going to look on there and get some of those recipes and try them.
Great. Thanks so much, Cinder. Thank you for having me.
Yes. Thank you for coming on the show. And thank you for joining us on 805 Focus, and we'll see you next time.